Greetings and salutations. This is the Jareeve here with another one of these podcasts. This time it's for the Oscars themselves, and today I've got a very special friend of mine, Mr. Dickey. You've not told me what to call you by, so I'm going to call you by your rightful name, Dickey.
Mr. Dickey totally works, yep.
And if you may recall, Dickey was involved with this about a year ago with a very special Oscar special, spectacular special, in which he got 16 right, and I got 17 right. I believe that's right. You can probably look it up, and I'm wrong. But...
Well, no, I know you beat me by one. It was a close one, but...
It was very nice to beat you. I love beating you because it means I'm better than you, so...
Barely. You're better by one.
That's one more than you have.
Fair enough.
Yes. But I have invited him back because I feel like his opinions are good and not quite 100% on par with mine, which is good to have some difference here, and we have... our picks to go over. We are going to be discussing this year's nominees while also giving our picks. This is our official record of what we are picking, and we're going to start, of course, by the end. Anything you'd like to say before we start?
The only thing I have to say is that I will be beating you this year.
Oh!
It's going to happen.
The opposition has spoken. We have some predictions this year that he's going to win. Well,
that's what I'm hoping.
I think I'm going to win.
I think you're wrong.
Subjective. So of course I'm gonna have my paper here. I got my Mountain Dew handy too, in case the old throat dries up on me like it always does. And
I got water.
Mr. Kami over here with his mineral water.
Hey, gotta hydrate or dihydrate.
I hate everything. So. To begin, this is the 91st Academy Awards.
That it is.
So we're less than a decade away from 100 ceremonies. It started in, I think the first one was 1928. So yeah, look at us go.
It's impressive. I'm excited to see what they have planned in store for the 100th.
Yep, and there are some changes this year. There's some things they almost did, like real quick. They almost added most popular film, and then they took it back because they're actually smarter than we thought they were.
I am very glad that they decided to take that back because the outrage was unreal. I was not happy with that at all.
There's just so many ways to measure that, because if you go most popular film by like box office, then what's the point? It's just who's going to make the most money. You already have like that title of being the highest grossing film. You don't need an Oscar for making more money.
And they'll hand it out to Disney every single year. It's going to go to one of their movies.
Yeah. And it's them trying to stay relevant, which I still think there's a relevancy to this. They give exposure to things, because I know people who don't watch those more Oscar baity or like even some independent films, but they do if they get Oscar nominations. It's just a weird thing how that works. I wish there were better ways to stay relevant than just adding dumb new categories and nominating mediocre superhero movies.
Yep, I definitely believe with that, Black Panther. And it's only, and it's because Disney owns the Oscars pretty much. They're the ones who are televising them, so they make the rules. Academy has to play by that.
Yeah. Well, we better start out with a category that has at least 3 Disney movies in it.
That is true.
Best Visual Effects. Our nominees are Avengers: Infinity War, Christopher Robin, First Man, Ready Player One, and Solo: A Star Wars Story. Initial thoughts on this category?
Initial thoughts are, I think it's going to be between 3.
Okay.
Right off the bat, I think Infinity War and First Man are the 2 that hold the best merit. Infinity War purely based off how incredible Thanos looks.
Yeah, and motion capture.
Oh, the motion capture, that is incredible. And First Man, because some of the space stuff, at second glance, you couldn't even tell that it was actual VFX. The dark horse, I would say, is Christopher Robin.
Over Ready Player One. I'm hearing
over Ready Player One.
I'm hearing a lot of Ready Player One for winning, even. Like, if it wins, I wouldn't be surprised. This is a category where anything but Solo has a chance.
Pretty much, yeah. I would say Solo is the weakest one, absolutely.
Yeah. Which, again, like, everyone's talked about Solo. It's fine. It's kind of just this bland, unnecessary Star Wars entry.
You pretty much nailed it. It was just unnecessary. Everyone going into there thought it was unnecessary.
It still had better special effects than Black Panther.
Yes, absolutely.
When I heard that made the short list and Aquaman didn't, like, But Aquaman's effects were one of the best of the year, which I'm surprised Aquaman wasn't even
actually, yeah, I would have put Aquaman over Solo. I haven't seen Aquaman yet, but from what I've heard, the effects really stand out.
I did see, and that was one of the better parts. Like, I really, really liked the color palette, too. Like, it looked really good. Say what you want about it. It was the best-looking DCEU film, which is not saying that much.
It's not that much. It's kind of easy to do when you have Zack Snyder directing them. And that you can tell, I mean, I haven't seen it, but Juan is a phenomenal director, and if he has his hands on that, that's where it's going to lean.
But, so, and your pick was, I believe, Infinity War, was it not? Or did you go with First Man? I can't remember. You said both.
I was definitely between the two. I think thinking about it, I'm going to give the edge to Infinity War. Alrighty. Just because I think it's about time that Disney actually wins one of the technical awards.
The best superhero movie of the year.
Yes. Hands down, it's the best superhero movie of the year.
Yep, that is also my pick. I'm not just jumping on with his pick, but that's what I have written down here on my handy-dandy 8x11, so you can hear it. So, yeah, that's what I got on there.
Yeah, you can't hear mine because it's all in my head, because I know it's like the back of my hand.
Okay. Going forward, we'll just see how well that adds up. So, for now, we have the first pick is the same. Best Film Editing, we have BlacKkKlansman, Bohemian Rhapsody, The Favorite, Green Book, and Vice. And I'll start this one. A lot of people are saying Bohemian Rhapsody, but my pick is going to Vice. I have seen both. I think Vice's editing is what keeps it moving. I understand the story lull stuff that people give it crap for, and I've heard reviews where non-Americans found it boring. I did not find it boring because of the pacing and the editing keeping it moving. So
I completely agree. I'm not trying to jump on your bandwagon whatsoever, but I absolutely thought Vice was the best edited one. The one I would put up there the closest to it would be BlacKkKlansman.
Which I did not see he did, so tell us about that.
BlacKkKlansman was very well edited. Spike Lee, one of his best movies to date, I would have to say. And you could tell near the end, not to give any spoilers whatsoever, but you could tell the influence of older films for the ending specifically. And it was a little meta for that, and it all played out super well, especially the editing at the very, very end, which ties in more modern day stuff.
Gotcha. Was it preachy at all? I'm just curious.
It is preachy. It's going to be Spike Lee, so that it's going to come across like that. But
in these times,
in these times, you can only do so much. That has to be the next one. But yeah, I think Vice has it simply because the editing is what carried the story for me.
Yeah, it's the same because I think it's the same guy who edited it as The Big Short because it's an Adam McKay movie,
which would make sense. He would stick with McKay.
Big Short's editing like that. Another movie where the actual things happening. I think because I've had people read the book and saying it's hard to follow, and the movie's hard to follow. Yeah, but that editing does keep it entertaining.
That's exactly the same thing with Vice, because just when you look at it, the story itself, you're looking at Dick Cheney over time. Yeah. It's interesting, but if you don't care about Dick Cheney, you're not going to care about the movie. And what the editing does is it makes it snappy. It makes it fun, and that's what I think really carries it over.
Yeah, and then we'll get to our we'll get to one of these last in this category, but we both saw The Favorite and Green Book. I think all 5 of these are Best Picture nominees, but The Favorite's editing was good. It's one of those things where I had to watch it again to notice the editing a little more because there's so much happening that I think the editing wasn't first and foremost. So I can't say too much about that.
No, I would totally agree. Looking at The Favorite, what sticks out to me for that one is really the directing and the visual styles, and that definitely trumps over just the editing, which is more run-of-the-mill kind of stuff. It just keeps the editing, and that kept the story streamlined, and it kept the focus on what it had to be on. But when you're looking at The Favorite, what stands out is the directing and the visual style.
And the acting.
And of course, the acting.
And the writing. Okay, we'll get to that later. And Green Book, the only thing I can say is, the only reason it's probably on there is because of those montages with the map. I will say, those were well done.
Those were really well done.
I have people saying Green Book is like a dark horse for this category. I go, really? I don't see it.
I don't really see it either, but again, Green Book is one of those movies because it did win the PGA award, so I could... I could see it sneaking into some categories that we don't think.
Yeah.
I would not be surprised.
Yeah. And then there's The B.
I don't even want to talk. Yeah, the B word.
The B word. We'll sum it up because we could talk for 30 minutes straight about the editing of this movie because it's not like we're editing like masters.
No, not by any means.
But when every shot that you've done so much work on to make it look authentic is a second and a half, and you're cutting to other stuff, and you're making me sick.
Yeah,
it's getting annoying, and this ties into another category that's very near and dear to your heart.
It absolutely does. That's what a couple of the times, like especially, and I know there's some people out there that absolutely love the way the Live Aid was shot and all that stuff.
Which it looked good.
It did look cool, but holy editing. There was so many shots just snapping back and forth and back and forth. When you look at something like that next to A Star Is Born that knows how to hold onto a shot for as long as it has to, Bohemian Rhapsody the way it's edited is trash. It's hard to watch sometimes.
It's so hard to watch. And this is one of the categories too where we're coming full circle in this category. They're not showing the presentation. I don't think I'm looking it up. I forgot to pull it up.
Yeah, you're right. They're not showing cinematography. Ooh,
we'll get to
going.
that.
We'll get
cinematography,
editing,
film editing, and
it's hair and makeup. And
I'm looking for it. I should have.
I know, because I know it's cinematography, editing, hair and makeup, and I'm definitely blanking on the last one. But obviously I don't know. There's not like an associates thing for editing, but I do just want to quickly appreciate the fact that the ASC is going to do something against the Oscars because of that.
Cinematography, film editing, makeup and hairstyling, and live action short.
That's what it was.
So, and just real quick, just in this case, I feel like as much as the exposure has got to be great for those filmmakers, and I hate to see them not getting broadcast, the four that usually don't get people interested that aren't film people are documentary, doc short, animated short, live action short.
I completely agree. Don't get me wrong. The shorts are very important, and like telling a story in a truncated amount of time is really impressive. But it doesn't stand out as something like cinematography and editing. And here's what I'm wondering is if, because the Academy did go back on their popular film after all the backlash, if they'll back up on this as well after all the backlash.
Yeah, could you imagine last year, Roger finally gets his Oscar.
Oh my!
Imagine they did not broadcast that. It's like this man's 0 for 13 or whatever at the time, and you're not going to broadcast his first win.
No, I absolutely, because one of the parody accounts that I was following, they posted that Roger had his just in time, because if he had gotten it any year after, who knows, they might not have even been showing it. That would have been just.
It's just unfortunate. See, you want to cut down time. How about you cut down on the stupid skits and the stupid jokes?
And
you cut down on the commercial breaks, and you just hand out the awards. And I don't mind the musical performances. If you perform the songs nominated. This isn't the Grammys. This actually counts a little bit.
And absolutely. And I was talking with a coworker, and she was saying that another way, like some of the people who are accepting their awards could go about trying to fix that is just giving a shorter acceptance speech.
Which they tried to do. They try to cue you with the music, and people talk right over it. It's really hard. But you do have people who will talk too long.
There's no way around that. There's definitely those people.
So, to wrap up the category, best film editing is going. We're both picking Vice.
Yep, definitely Vice. So,
the next category is costume design. And you want to read the nominees this time?
I sure can do that. Yeah, the first one's going to be The Ballad of Buster Scruggs. Second one, Black Panther. Then we have The Favorite following. We have Mary Poppins Returns and Mary Queen of Scots.
So I believe a lot of people are pulling for Black Panther because the costumes are really good.
That was in the back of my head.
I think I'm going with The Favorite.
I have to agree.
It's a period piece. That's why.
Usually when a period piece is up for costume design, that's going to be the one that pulls away.
But I remember going into the movie not even thinking about, like, it's a period piece. There's going to be, like, the production costume designer have to be... I wasn't even thinking about that.
Right.
And there's a point about halfway through where I started to go, these are really good costumes.
You could tell.
These are really good.
Yeah, especially just because the way... Also, just where it was shot, it was in an already built castle. like they went on location.
Yeah.
And so they had to build the costumes to match that location and to make it like fit perfectly. It's so well done. And that's what I always think it's super well done when I can't think about it.
Yeah.
Well, kind of like editing wise, like when you don't think about it, it's that good, it's going unnoticed. That's exactly what I thought with a favorite for costume design.
I think it's one of those like that's what I'm picking, but watch him give it to Black
Honestly,
Panther.
that's what I'm partially thinking, just because I don't know how big the push is gonna be for Black Panther this year. I really don't.
Wouldn't it be funny if it gets shut out and then Infinity War wins one? That'd be so funny. Because remember, the MCU has no Oscars and the DCEU has one.
Yep, the Oscar
so
Academy Award winning Suicide Squad.
Yep. Who I did not predict, and in the back of my mind, I wish I did, but like part of me didn't want it to happen.
I completely agree. I'm just like, for the love of God, do not give them any merit whatsoever. They do not deserve that merit. But what do you know? They got it. Of course, for costume.
Yeah. So.
Oh boy.
What? Well, just real like. Well, Mary Queen of Scots, I've not seen.
I have not seen that one either.
So I don't know. It's one of those you don't hear much buzz. Mm-hmm. So, Mary Poppins Returns. Those were really good costumes.
I haven't seen Mary Poppins yet, but I would imagine so if they're still trying to throw it back to. Was it take place in the 60s? I think, or the 70s?
No, it's.
Because the first one, the kids are older now.
Yep, the first one takes place in 1910. This one takes place during the Depression, or the Great Slump, as they call it. That's what it says at the beginning. But it's one of those big, bright Disney musical, gonna have good costumes. So
yeah, that's fair.
So and then Buster
Scruggs. Yeah. That is true.
I was happy to see that.
Yeah, I was really excited to see you get something.
I loved.
I am so proud of Netflix this year. Netflix is really stepping up their game when it comes to movies and giving the Coen brothers an opportunity to make a movie for them.
Yeah,
I was thoroughly impressed, especially because it's a Western. You got to make sure it looks authentic, and every part of it did.
Oh, yeah. So, my pick again, the favorite, and your pick is...
I'm with you on that. I will have to agree. So,
right now, I don't think either of us are going to win if we have the same 3 picks to start. So
we might be changing up sooner or later, hopefully.
Oh, man.
Yeah, because... Yeah, we'll see. Hopefully.
The next one is Best Makeup and Hairstyling. There's usually only 3. I was surprised the favorite wasn't on there.
I was shocked, too. I really expected that to see.
All the powdered wigs and fake moles. And
yeah.
mainly what's his name? Nicholas Hoult?
Yeah.
Holt? How do you say his name?
I think it's...
Holt?
I'm
I don't
fairly
know.
certain.
Anyone who's listened to this channel for a while knows I am one of the worst people at last names.
Yeah.
Horrible.
Benedict Cumbersnatch? Is that how you say it, I think?
No. I don't even remember what I called him. I called him something.
Cucumber Patch.
Yeah, sure, yes. But here we got Border, Mary Queen of Scots, and Vice. And this will be a quick category because I've only seen Vice. And the hair and makeup for everyone, including... Christian Bale's Dick Cheney.
That's immediately what I thought.
Hands down, it's Vice.
I hate to keep agreeing with you, but when I was watching Vice, I kept having to double take, and I legitimately forgot that Christian Bale was playing Dick Cheney.
Yeah, but he should have been fat. He should have been fat. I want him to get. I don't care if it's bad for his health at this point. You want to be Dick Cheney? You gotta get fat.
I mean, hey,
representation.
It worked for I'm blanking on the film. Gary Oldman for Darkest Hour. Thank you. I'm pretty sure that was
cartoon.
Yeah, that was a good fat suit.
But yeah, real short. Just we're picking Vice. So far we're 4 for 4.
I know. We'll disagree at one point. I have to guarantee it.
And take this next one away.
This next one's one of my favorite, and
why is it? Tell the people why it's your favorite.
I have gone to school for being a director of photography. I've worked on several projects as a director of photography. So, of course, my favorite category is going to be best cinematography. Part of the reason why I am so angry at the Academy for cutting it out, but
read the nominees.
Anyways,
your category.
The nominees: Cold War is first up, followed by The Favorite, Never Look Away, Roma, and A Star Is Born.
And what's your pick?
And
you go first.
First off, I have to say I have not seen Cold War or Never Look Away. I want to see those because they've been nominated.
Yeah, well, it's Caleb Deschanel's been around a while.
Yeah, he has been. And so I will have to say my pick for this has to be The Favorite.
Really?
It really...
We disagree
on
one.
There you go.
There we go. The first one took us 5 categories. Please explain
I will
The Favorite.
have to explain it. I was reading an article with Robbie Ryan about how he shot it. And because Lanthimos wanted to stick with such wide angles, there was no way they could sneak in flags or anything like that to form and shape the light. So every single shot you look at, it has nothing but natural light and just bouncing it to shape it. And I thought that stands out. I think the talent that comes behind forming natural light to fit your exact needs is a little bit stronger than if you can have actual lights off to the side and setting up your flags or your barn doors to get the exact look that you want. I think just purely the talent behind crafting that light is what makes The Favorite stand out. And I kept thinking, oh my gosh, every second I was watching The Favorite, I was in awe.
Oh, it looks so good.
It looks so good.
Well, here's a question. What did you think about those fisheye shots? Like, there's a lot of those.
There's a lot of those, and
I found them a little annoying, but explain them.
I understand how people could find those annoying. I really do.
Just a little though.
But what I think in the back of my head is what Yorgos was trying to tell with that is that generally speaking, all the characters and all the situations were distorted. You're always looking at like either really lavish people like screwing over. I apologize if there's going to be spoilers for this, but you're looking at literally really rich people screwing over poor people, and that's going to be distorted in the minds of poor people. It took a very specific perception on the film.
Yorgos knows what he wants.
Yorgos knows what he wants. I've been a fan of his. I love The Lobster. I love Killing of a Sacred Deer. Both are great in my opinion. I am a Yorgos full-on fanboy.
Gotcha. Have you seen Dogtooth?
I have not seen Dogtooth.
I haven't either. I hear it's
That's
great.
the one I haven't seen.
So like a lot of these foreign films too, I have to catch up on just because it's what you're surrounded with when you grow up.
Oh,
you gotta
absolutely.
go out and find it because I'm the film person in my family, so it's like I gotta go out and
you gotta know.
Find these. So.
You definitely do. I completely agree with that.
The Favorite's the only Yorgos film I've seen. So
if you like the kind of dark humor, Lobster is impeccable.
Okay,
Lobster is one of my favorites.
I've been meaning to check that out. I will. I promise. So.
Awesome.
But
what's your pick?
My pick is Roma.
You are picking Roma. That would be the next one
because part of me feels like it was going to be Lubezki. Like they said,
it was going to be Lubezki,
but like that felt. It says something about the talent of the director when you can produce, direct, write, edit, and shoot your own movie and make it look that good. Like that is fair.
That is very impressive.
Roma was so good.
Roma was in the back of my mind that might be Best Picture, but we'll get onto that later.
But that's my pick for cinematography. It's not like saying The Favorite or the others aren't good or anything, of course, but like Roma to me was like there's just something about how he shot that.
The 360 ones, that's fair.
And that's all I can say because I mean you're the cinematographer over there. So.
I don't get me wrong. I was thoroughly impressed with all the camera movements, and that's a mixture of cinematography and directing to me. When I look at cinematography strictly, I look at the lighting and I look at the framing and not the framing. The framing and the composition a little bit, but mostly the lighting and the fact that it's every film uses lights. Like that's going to happen. It's not something just to rely on. But I can't get over the fact that The Favorite was made with nothing but natural light, and that just stands out to me.
And just real quick, A Star Is Born. There's one that first scene.
True.
I get a little motion sick too easily, but I got used to it, and that claustrophobic hand cam-ish feel worked.
It worked so well, and what I loved about this, and I kept thinking it the entire time I was watching it, is when the majority of the film is shot at about a medium shot or closer.
Yeah, I noticed that.
Like it doesn't have too many long shots, and that shows their confidence in the actors. And it's a very strong cinematography choice because I know a lot of people like to show off like how good they can light a scene in a set by pulling back and showing a big shot of it and showing all the lights and the shadows and that kind of stuff. This did not rely on that. What I liked about this specifically was the concert footage. I thought the way it shot that, just because you could tell the focus was on Bradley Cooper and Lady Gaga. It wasn't on the audience, which is another reason why I don't like Bohemian Rhapsody because it was not focusing on Rami.
I think because we saw it at the same time, we sat next to each other, and I remember there's one shot for Live Aid that I really liked where they go under the piano bench.
Yeah,
I was like, wow, that's a really good shot. Let's make this special and have a lot more stationary shots around it. And it's like, let's do drift this way and then this way and then up and then down, then blip shot. Oh, we're sweeping in, which it looked fake, but
it was like
so annoying. Oh my gosh.
Okay, yeah, it's just over. That was too much overly exaggerated.
And then I'm not even a Queen fan. I'm like, I'll watch the actual footage from Live Aid, and I'm like, this is way better. Like, it doesn't. Of course, the technology, it doesn't look as good.
It's not going to be.
It's like it looks like videotape. I mean, I'm not an expert on that, but it look. You know what I mean?
Of the time.
Yeah. But I was just like, wow. Even the cutting to like more stationary stuff and leveled stuff, it made it feel more like an experience and not just, hey, look what we could do.
And not just like an over-the-top, Queen's cool, look at this. And
yeah, look at those chompers.
Look at those, at those teeth.
These ain't the chompers I had in the Navy. I was waiting for him to say that. Or start whistling through them or something. Like, I told you, when they show picture or video footage of Freddie Mercury during the end credits and his teeth don't look anywhere near as
it's like that, over the top.
Oh my gosh. He must have been a hit at Christmas parties.
Yeah.
I'm talking about Rami Malek. He probably kept the teeth just like, crap, the nutcracker broke. It's just, I was like,
what else you
said? I got it.
Don't worry about it. I got it.
He's got that jaw, too.
I'm so glad that did not get any nominations for makeup and hairstyling. If it did, I would have lost it.
Because I will say, he did look like him.
He did.
Like I'll give him that.
I'll give him, but yeah. The teeth.
On.
Yeah, okay. We should move on.
So again, cinematography, you picked the favorite. I picked Roma. So far we have one difference.
There we go.
Best production design, we have Black Panther, The Favorite, First Man, Mary Poppins Returns, and Roma. And I'll have you give your pick first again. Just
sure thing.
I'm a nice guy.
For this one, I could see the Academy now giving it to Black Panther. I could see that happening.
But it's going to The Favorite, isn't it?
But I think it's going to The Favorite or Roma. I think it's between the both.
We picked the same one again,
didn't we? I think we might have picked the same one again.
I picked The Favorite. Who did you pick?
The Favorite.
Okay, so but there are some shots of that where I looked at that and I go, even if they didn't put up most of that stuff, if it's already that there's so much happening.
That's what it always was. There's so much minor details in the foreground and in the background.
Those paintings in that, like, there's a couple of those shots in the corner of her chamber, and there's in the middle of the movie, I took a step back and went, holy crap! Look at all that.
That's what I kept looking at too. Like I would focus on the scene at hand, then I would glance up and like, wow, those are some great paintings.
Like, and just even like those like tea set stuff, like the cups. I'm just like, like, I know that's of the top. Like, just everything about this is just over the top exquisite because of the royalty aspect. It's just like, they really got this down.
They absolutely nailed it, and that's why hands down, I think it's going to go to that no matter what. I mean, I will give Black Panther what I said, or even Roma, because Roma, like, you could tell, like, there were a lot of minor details in there as well, like a bunch of the props that were used really just made it feel down to earth and really personal to the viewer.
Well, when it's across the street from his childhood home, it's like everything, and it's in that time period, it's like everything in that movie is what he saw as a kid and remembers. It's like, that's where that detail comes from.
Oh, and you can tell it came right from Cuaron's mind, because dude's a talented filmmaker to begin with.
Yeah.
And when he's making a movie about his own childhood, like, there's no way he's not going to make sure it's near perfect, if not perfect.
That was, I think at that point I'd seen like 3 or 4 nominees and was just begging for a big one, because they had been meh or good, like nothing great. And before I saw The Favorite, and I just remember watching it. It's like, yes, This is what I was waiting for all year. This is This is what deserves to be here.
Yes. Oh, it definitely does. That's why I'm so proud of Netflix. I gotta give them a pat on the back for managing to get the rights to this, because it's gonna help them a lot.
And then Mary Poppins again. I'll say the same thing as a costume. Just it's good. It's a bright Disney, big budget musical.
They're gonna focus on some of that.
It looked really nice too. It doesn't have a shot, but the scene, Meryl Streep scene, like that set design, that's probably what got it for it, because there's a lot of detail in that one scene.
Yeah, like I said, I haven't seen Mary Poppins yet, but I'll believe you on that. I didn't even know Meryl Streep was in it until just today.
Just one scene.
Just one scene.
Yeah, that's it. But
I'm surprised
I don't even really care for Meryl Streep.
I'm surprised she didn't get a nomination for it.
I know. I know. I remember looking up. It's like, what is it, like 23, 24 nominations? I'm like, let's see. About 10 of those I see deserve. Like, a lot of them are just filler. It's like, let's just keep giving her more. It's a California law.
I don't know who else to nominate. Let's just say Meryl Streep.
Well, 2016? They nominated her for Florence Foster Jenkins.
Yes.
And not Amy Adams for Nocturnal Animals or Arrival.
I was shocked she did not get a nomination for either of those.
How in the world does she do both these movies? And I've not seen Nocturnal Animals. I saw Arrival, but everyone who saw Nocturnal Animals was like, she was really good. And I go, I don't get it.
Nope, it does not make any sense at all.
Yeah. But so production design, the favorite.
I think we're both agreeing with that.
Well, First Man, good. It was good.
That's true.
I'll give it that,
because you could tell it took place in a small town, Ohio. I think it took place.
Something
in Ohio.
They bounce around all the time.
They bounce around, yeah. But it felt very down to it felt down to earth. Well, I mean, there wasn't too much except for, especially on the spaceship, they probably did their research and made sure to make it look as accurate as possible.
Yeah, so that's probably what did it.
Yeah, absolutely.
And Black Panther, it's one of those things where, it looks really nice. There's also a lot of shots that look really fake.
Some of the CG in that is rough.
Because the costumes are great.
They are. I'll give the costumes.
That waterfall scene, I know some people like it. It looks cool, but
you could tell it was shot on a soundstage. You could tell.
Whatever.
Yeah.
We both picked the favorite.
Yep.
We've agreed on everything except one. Let's move on.
That is true.
So you can introduce
for
sound mixing.
Yeah, so for sound mixing, once again we have Black Panther. And my favorite movie, Bohemian Rhapsody. Then we have First Man, Roma, and A Star Is Born. I gotta say, for this one, I am between two for sound mixing. I think I'm between First Man and A Star Is Born. Just because A Star Is Born is literally all about music and about the mixing. Gotcha. I think that stands the closest, but just the fact of the rumbling effect that they used in First Man, and just that I was clenching the sides of my seats during all those scenes. I know that was also just the way it was shot. Oh my goodness. But it was, in fact, the sound I would have to give it.
So are we agreeing on this one too? We both think First Man.
Yeah.
It was. I was trying not to be sick in the good way because of the shaking, and I'm like, eyes forward, just trying to find something stationary. Find something stationary. But then, you didn't hear everything. You felt everything. That's why I think it's better than the rest. I'm not I've said this before. I'm not the best with sound. I am not. From Black Panther, the sound mixing was. I have a feeling they gave it to it because there are other Marvel movies that did the same exact sound mixing and they didn't get it.
Yeah,
I think it's just
they had some planes, some guns shooting and stuff like that. Just it's just standard.
It's just handing out nominations to it just to make it relevant. That's more than it's going to be relevant. Yeah. Without all these awards,
it's alright. Yeah.
And then Bohemian, I'll give it that. The mixing was good. Yeah. The choices for when to bring in songs was not. Ooh. Care to explain that?
Let's not give one of the best performances of the year, Rami Malek, a choice or a chance to actually act and show his despair.
No. That he shows his teeth.
Yep, and let's roll right into Under Pressure.
Yep, and not even show it. Just have it play for 30 seconds.
Why?
And then we're like, okay, if we're just transitioning to a scene, I can at least see okay, we're moving on. Nope, it fades back out in the next scene. It's like, what was the point?
What was the even whose idea? I want to know whose idea it was to play Under Pressure at that exact moment in the movie.
Slap him right
and I want to slap him. And then I want to record that and show him how to actually mix sound.
Okay, don't go that far. Because we could. I would be terrible at sound mixing. But
I know some people.
Whoever thought it'd be a good idea to put Under Pressure in there instead of like let the rain and like the sound do the work for you. Let's throw a song.
Let's use music instead of the natural atmosphere because
not even just like an actual song. Like, could you imagine if Shawshank he stands up in the rain and they cut to like Love Shack. Just he puts his arms up, the music rises, and then Love Shack, baby, Love Shack. I'm just saying, like that's what happens. You have to use your soundtrack well.
You can't just use music whenever you want. That's not how that works.
Like, here's a good example of using the soundtrack good is like Lost in Translation. The last scene when Just Like Honey fades in, the Jesus and Mary Chain song.
Yeah,
that's perfect for the emotion. It's perfect timing, and it doesn't just start. It fades in because it's a slow fade.
Exactly.
That's how you do that. Or like watch Tarantino too.
Tarantino and even Guardians. Even they know how to use music.
American Graffiti did it perfect.
Yes.
Like, that's how you do it. You don't just, like, you're doing a musical biopic. Like, if you look at, like, Walk the Line, they give breathing room. Even Ray gave breathing room for Jamie Foxx. Like, you gotta give your actor breathing room.
You can't just shove Queen music down your throat because it's about Queen. That's not how that works.
We should move on.
Okay, that's fair.
It's just annoying, but...
I totally agree. Very annoying.
And I'm gonna double up on Roma on this one too. Like I should have doubled up on First Man because sound mixing and editing are not the same thing.
Nope.
But they're so similar. But the sound mixing in Roma is something I wish I had like headphones on. I watched it on TV.
That is true. I did too.
But I wish I had my headphones on because from what I hear from people, there's so much happening, and I can see why they're.
They're like during like some of like the street scenes and stuff like that. Like you have the crowd noises in the background. Then layered upon that, you have like kids running and screaming. Layered upon that, you have the actual dialogue, and during all of that, you can never not hear what they're saying. That's one of my biggest pet peeves is when you cannot tell what's saying because of all the other noises. That is something that Roma does very well.
Yeah, and the same with the like. I'm blending the categories. I'm sorry to those sound people who are like, these are two separate things. It's like, I'm sorry.
I understand. I'm not a sound guy. I'm a DP.
Yep. And to jump onto that, because Bohemian Rhapsody, Black Panther, and First Man are also nominated for both. Yep. So I kind of just, again, like, editing is more of placement than, like,
that's what
how the layers are set up. So
yeah.
But I'll give it to them. I'm surprised A Star Is Born is not a sound editing.
I'm surprised that didn't make it over there.
Because we have A Quiet Place, a movie that you're not supposed to have that many sound effects.
That's what That's kind of like it's good editing because they didn't include that much. Is that what's they're going?
All I know is see when I would make little projects without sound, it's not because it fits in with the story too much. It's because I don't have good sound equipment.
It's because
I don't want to deal with it. So I took the coward's way out.
So when in doubt, make a silent film.
It wasn't a silent film. But it was like no sound.
I mean, close enough. But
sure, they had to nominate for something. I guess it was nominated for score at the Globes. It's like, shouldn't a movie about being quiet not have much of a score?
I remember when I was watching it. I mean, it's been a second, but
it was a little intrusive.
It was
At a certain point in the movie, for those who haven't seen it, I'm sorry, but at a certain point in the movie, it makes sense.
Yes,
because they're not trying to be quiet.
Yeah,
but for the first hour of the movie, you should have no music.
Right, it should be dead silent.
Just
that kind of brings up like my thoughts on. I know this is not important, but No Country. There's no music. There's no score at all
until like the end credits,
and it makes it tense, and that's what A Quiet Place should have done.
Yeah, well, it's one of those things like in the end, it wasn't a horrid mistake or anything. Like,
no,
it's a well constructed movie, I suppose. Like, we could talk. This would be a whole nother discussion on it. But sure, similar to last year, there are just some categories. It does not bug me.
Yeah,
it doesn't bug me. So just move on. So
yep.
So we just went through. So I picked First Man for both the sound.
Yeah, I would agree. Yep.
So we're agreeing again. So we're only different on one.
So we'll see what happens with cinematography.
Yep. So.
Oh crap! We're gonna agree for the original song too.
Yep.
Probably.
So song. Okay, let's just say it. What's gonna win? Shallow.
Yeah.
Because it's that good.
It is just that good.
Because you got all the stars from Black Panther. It's a decent song. People are gonna give me crap for it. It's not my thing, so it's hard for me to really praise it more than because it's like that's not it's my perspective.
It doesn't even stand like when you're looking at just all of Kendrick's stuff too. It doesn't even stand out for all of his songs. It's just good enough for the movie.
But I don't mind it being there. Yeah, I'm fine with that.
No, I'm fine with that.
And I'll Fight from RBG. I've not heard.
I have not. No.
The place where lost things go. Is a good. I was kind of surprised, and then really thought about it. I go, yeah, that's the. Not quite, but like the Feed the Birds from the first movie.
Oh, okay.
It's similar to that. It comes at an emotional part of the movie. It comes at one of the worst acting scenes of the year. Because Ben Whishaw is not a bad actor. He had one really bad scene because he has one of the best songs in the movie right at the beginning. Like, it's a sad song. Yeah. And the singing isn't 100% clean because there's an emotional gusto to it. Like, and it's not a loud song. It's a quiet little song where he's crying. Makes sense. Yeah. And having this one, it was an awkward transition when the kids start singing because they were not the best singers. But
I mean, yeah,
it's a good song.
That's fair.
It's a good song. Fine if there is no chance. And then when a cowboy trades his spurs for wings.
I was when I saw that pop up there, I was like, oh, they're gonna give Buster Scruggs a nomination for that. Okay.
It's a good song. It wasn't my favorite song of the segment.
No, I wouldn't say that.
I love the Curly Joe song when he's dancing on the bar. I love that song.
But
sure.
Right? Why not?
I mean,
I was a fan of the movie, so I'll give it. It.
It was a good end to that segment.
Yeah,
so
it was.
I'll give it to it. Some people might be like, "Why?" I'm like, I don't know.
I don't know either. I really don't.
But Shallow, I saw Lady Gaga's Grammy performance. I don't watch the Grammys, but I saw it performance. That was really good.
Oh yeah,
and that's not the version from the movie.
No,
that's the big rock version. And I was like, when you have a song that can be interpreted in many different genres and still be powerful, that says something. Because it can be more of a pop ballad, it can be more of like a rock ballad, and it can be just a straight up rock song.
And it can be stripped down and be like really like heavy hitting too, like it was in the movie.
And it's all the credit to the people because I know Lady Gaga did the music too, but her vocals are what sell the song. Like without that second half of the song, her vocals, it wouldn't be at the place it is. Because that's and it's not the most I'm not the best or really good at all at writing music or anything, but compositionally, like it's a pretty straightforward song.
It is.
It comes down to the performance of the song.
And Lady Gaga absolutely kills it.
So I hear both she and Bradley Cooper are singing it.
I'm excited. What I'm curious to see how good Cooper can do live.
Well, he sang. He was at one of her concerts I saw
I remember seeing that pop
a couple
up.
weeks ago, and she was like calling him up on the stage, and he's like, no, and then they were cheering for him, and then he finally got up and sang it with him. Of course, let her handle all the big parts.
Oh yeah,
because that's her part.
That's what she can do.
So yeah, Shallow, original song, we agree.
Oh yeah, no doubt whatsoever.
Score, I gotta check my sheet. I think I kept changing it.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll go first this time.
Go ahead.
So the nominees are Black Panther for Ludwig Göransson, Black Klansman for Terrence Blanchard, If Beale Street Could Talk for Nicholas Brittle, whatever. Yeah. Isle of Dogs by Alexandre Desplat, and Mary Poppins for Mark Shyman, something like that.
Shyman.
I'm going to pick Black Panther.
Honestly, that's fair. Looking at this, sadly I haven't seen Beale Street, Isle of Dogs, or Mary Poppins, so the only two I have seen are Klansman and
how was that score?
Black Panther. It's really, really good, which is what's making me think that might have a chance to win too.
I've heard something.
I would
about
honestly,
what's your pick?
Going back, it's still definitely between Black Panther and Black Klansman for me. And you know what?
One.
I'm thinking. The more I think about it, I'm going to give it to Black Klansman.
Okay, so second one we're different.
We're going to differ
Black
on
Panther.
This one.
I don't think because I thought Isle of Dogs and Mary Poppins were better scores, but Black Panther's the one people talk about. Like, look how great and different this Marvel movie scores. I'm like, and I just take out the percussion and the rap sound effect stuff, and it's basically the same thing. But whatever, sure.
And I do know that it did win a Grammy, but this is the Oscars, and I thought the Black Klansman score really brought it home. The time, like it took place in the 70s.
Okay.
And it had like a Spike Lee punch to it.
Okay.
Like you could tell like it was like snappy, snazzy kind of stuff.
Snazzy.
It took it like it was very like full of itself.
Oh,
But
yeah.
I
That
loved
sounds
it.
familiar. So, yeah. So I'm going Black Panther and...
Black Klansman.
Okay. We're going to get into the short films now. These are going to be
Yeah.
very short because I've not seen it. I'm sorry. These are going to be very short. Sorry.
That was rough.
Sorry. I'm just laughing because I said it and then caught it too late.
Was that even on purpose?
No. That's why I'm laughing. I said it. I go, oh come on.
It's like, oh no.
But basically, I've seen like one out of all these.
Same.
And so,
wait, which one have you seen? Bow.
So, yep.
Yep.
Because of was it Incredibles?
Yes,
Yeah.
I think those in front of Incredibles.
So let's just do this real quick. Animated short. I'm picking Bow.
I'm picking Bow too.
Okay, so we're the same on that.
Yep.
Best live action short film. I'm gonna go Skin.
I did.
You didn't pick one, did you?
No. Let's say I'm gonna disagree with you on this one, so we have a chance to see who's gonna win. I'll go Mother.
Did you say Uncle Mother?
I'll go Mother.
Oh, I was like, Uncle Mother. Where's that?
I'm making a new one.
Uncle Mother.
Uncle Mother.
Well, it's 2019, so.
Uncle Mister.
Uncle Mister. Sorry. But yeah, Skin is my pick. He's picking Mother.
Yep, I'll take Mother.
Documentary short subject. We didn't even read them because I forgot to, but what did I put? I can't even remember. I put Lifeboat.
I'm going to put The Black Sheep. I'll choose that one.
So you're going Black Sheep, I'm going Lifeboat.
Yep.
And then documentary feature, just real quick. I've not seen it and I wanted to. How did Mr. Rogers not get nominated?
Seriously, how did Mr. Rogers not?
That's like
saw
the highest
that,
grossing.
and I loved it. I fell in love with it as soon as they started showing interviews about him and all of his life. I am literally shocked how that did not get a nomination. I really don't understand what they're doing at all.
But we have Free Solo, Hale County, This Morning, This Evening, Minding the Gap, Fathers and Sons, and RBG. I originally thought RBG had, but I'm going Free Solo.
Crap, we're gonna have to agree on this
here we
one
go.
because I was between those two. Those are the two that have garnered the most buzz.
And I thought it was gonna be RBG. It's got a nomination in another category, and I am a relevant topic and all that. A person, a very influential person.
Oh yeah.
But then, like lately, it's been about Free Solo.
That's what I've
like. It's one thing to be like culturally relevant. It's another thing to be like a whole new. Because I've been hearing things about like technically and like how it works as a document. Like game changing is what I've been hearing about it. So we're going Free Solo.
Would not be surprised whatsoever.
And I'll let you read the next one.
Yeah, next one.
So I don't have to. Okay, there. Okay.
Oh man, I'm gonna butcher some of these, or just the first one.
Yeah.
Foreign language films. I'm gonna say Capernaum.
It's like Capernaum or Capernaum. I have no idea.
Something like that. And then we have Cold War, Never Look Away, Roma, and Shoplifters.
On the count of three, let's say what it's gonna be. 3, 2, 1. Roma. Okay.
Yeah.
That's the only one I've seen, but that's.
Fair.
If you have a Best Picture nomination as a foreign film,
you're almost. There's no way it's not
guarantee.
gonna win that.
And
really.
I've not seen much of any other foreign films this year
at
all. Because usually we don't get them over here in time for the Oscars or anything. So
there's no way to.
It's really short on this category, but
just
that's all I
the
can
one
say
that
is
we've seen.
Roma. Roma's got it in the bag.
And I do want to see Cold War. I've heard some really good things about it.
I have. I've also heard that Never Look Away and Shoplifters are really good. I think what's the one everyone was mad about? Was it Burning?
I
think it was Burning. Everyone's like, how did Burning not get nominated? So I'll have to check all those out.
Yeah, I need to catch them on my foreign films for sure.
So Roma. Then animated feature film. I bet we're picking the same thing, aren't we? Are you picking Spider-Verse?
Ah, crap. Yeah.
Well, I've seen 4 of these, and I talked about this before with other people. Just like for 8-9 months of the year, it was Isle of Dogs. It's like, Wes is finally getting an Oscar, and then I saw Spider-Verse. I go, never mind.
It's gonna go to
Incredible. We have Incredibles 2, Isle of Dogs, Mirai, Ralph Breaks the Internet, and Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse.
Yep. Yeah. The only one that I think Isle of Dogs is the next runner-up. I don't think The Incredibles 2 is good enough to win.
It was all right. It's nowhere near the original.
Oh, it was not
I
even
enjoyed
close to the original.
myself.
Yeah, it was a fun movie. It still was in, like, you could tell it was still done by Brad Bird. It still had like the fun family stuff to it, but it just didn't hit me the same way the first one did.
I almost wish they would have done the time lapse where it's been like 15 years.
I feel like that putting it
I don't know why
in a completely different setting, other than just like following it up right after, could have led to more interesting stuff. It really.
Yeah. At the same time, I like because in the first one, this is gonna sound. You're going to be like, Jared, you idiot. It took me a long time to realize the first one was not contemporary.
Oh, my God.
I never once questioned it. It happened with American Psycho, too. I get to the end of the movie, I'm like, why is Reagan on the TV?
Like,
this is the 80s. Oh. And then people are like, you didn't notice? I'm like, no, I don't know why. I wasn't thinking about it. So incredible.
That's
I wasn't
fair, though. They don't really overly state it. But
I wasn't thinking it was contemporary. I just didn't think about it.
Yeah, that's fair.
But then the second one, it really hammers in the world. They do the world building of this is technically in like the 60s.
They do that a lot.
I like that. Yeah. It looked good.
I did like that. It looked good. And the one thing I will say that I liked that they picked up right after is the the chemistry between Jack and Edna. I'm sorry. That was probably my favorite part of the whole movie. It was absolutely hysterical.
So, yeah, that was good. So, it's a decent sequel, but
I definitely agree.
That was the one I thought if Isle of Dogs didn't get it, that would like be that everyone would be mad, but no, we have it.
It's definitely going to Spider-Verse.
Yep, and you've not seen Isle of Dogs.
I took it from someone we work with, and so I'm going to be watching it soon.
Okay. I've seen it twice. Yeah. I loved it.
I don't know how I haven't seen it yet. I think it's just timing didn't hit up right. But yeah,
it's really good.
Like, I'm a sucker for almost anything Wes Anderson, so
it's one of those things like I've seen both of them. I've seen both Isle of Dogs and Spider-Man twice. The one that's more of my movie and what I relate to better, I guess, is Isle of Dogs. That's more my movie.
Fair enough.
Critically, it's tough because Spider-Man was so good.
Spider-Man was so good,
and that's like game changing.
And it did take because it took me a while to see it. Like I wanted to see it, but it took me a while. So in the back of my head, I heard all the hype towards it. I heard everyone was loving it, and when I finally saw it, I'm like, dang, that stood up to the hype. It really was that, and that's also what I loved was just the style. Oh, the way they animated, and I know it's simple, but the way they did Kingpin, which is making him massive and take up so much of the screen,
and his backstory, the way they conveyed his backstory with the pen clicking,
fast,
genius.
It was brilliant, and they were able to get his motivations.
It made sense. Everything made sense.
With like what? How long was that? Maybe 30 seconds.
Yeah, it was less than a minute.
Yeah,
and who, what happened, who he is, why he's doing this, why he's trying so hard to do this.
It worked out, and
it's not a take over the world scheme. It's a very personal reason.
Which is the same. I follow Daredevil and other stuff. I've read some of the comics. Like I know personally where Kingpin comes from and like what his motivations are. But for them to be able to convey that to more general audiences that fast, so much props to the writers there. Lord Miller helped out on that.
And surprised that because I can't remember the name of the song, but one of the songs people really like and it did not get nominated. I can't remember which one.
One of the ones that I hated was at the end. Spidey Man, the Jingle Bells one.
No, it's Spidey Bells.
Spidey Bells.
That's amazing, and you know it. No. You can go on Spotify, and they have 4 tracks, I think, from the movie. It's hilarious.
Spidey
Bells. Spidey Bells.
And I will say this. Spoiler alert. Full-on spoiler alert. The end credit scene. There's only so much to say. It is hands down my favorite post-credit scene ever.
I thought it was hilarious.
It takes the cake.
I was with a friend who was really excited, and then when it became a joke, he was not as excited. He's like, "You got to be kidding me!"
No, that was perfect.
It was hilarious.
The memes. You know, there was someone working at Sony who's saying, "So listen, if we're gonna do the Spider-Verse thing, we have to."
Don't say who it is.
Okay, we have to do the thing.
Yeah.
And they did the thing, and
and let's just say. That female spinoff and the sequel, I am definitely watching those.
Oh, I am so on board.
100%. It's like if there's more of these, I don't care if I have to wait 3 years.
If they stick with the same creative team and all the people behind it, it's going to be great.
And it was not making money at first.
After
the Globes, everyone started
shocked.
going to see it because like all the other kids' movies were already out for a while.
Yeah,
I'm glad it's got to be approaching 200 mil.
It has to, and there's no way they're not going to make it.
I'm so happy that it is too.
It deserves it. It definitely does.
Mirai I didn't see, and then Ralph Breaks the Internet. I won't say too much. Like there's some people who love this movie.
I actually haven't seen that yet.
There's some people who really love it. Because they really love the first one.
I was a huge fan of the first.
I like them both. It's one of those things where I'm not hugely invested in either one, but I enjoyed the second one. I laughed at things that no one else laughed at. They did a joke where they said a ballet place was for Desmond's tutus. I lost it because Bishop Desmond Tutu is an important figure of last century. No one got it. Then in the background is like a Y2K like survival motel, and no one laughed.
Oh, that's funny.
That was hilarious.
I do have to see that because I was such a huge fan of the first one.
And it's not one of those things where that's the joke. It's in the background.
Yeah.
But it's big enough to where I saw it and I laughed, and everyone's like, "What are you laughing at?" So but Spider-Verse is both our pick. We've agreed on all but like 3.
Yeah, all but 3.
Yeah. So you want to read the next one? Oh.
Yeah, let's do the next one. The adapted screenplay. So the first one up, Buster Scruggs.
All right.
Whoop, whoop. Black Klansman. Can You Ever Forgive Me? If Beale Street Could Talk, and A Star Is Born.
I gotta check what I picked. Go ahead and give yours while I check.
I am all but certain this one's gonna go to A Star Is Born.
Really?
Really. Don't get me wrong, I absolutely loved Buster Scruggs, Black Klansman, but I haven't seen Can You Ever Forgive Me or Beale Street yet. But just because of all the hype behind A Star Is Born, I think there's no way that one's not going to win for right. Although the writing in Buster Scruggs was really good, it did stand out to me. I think A Star Is Born is going to take this one for me.
Gotcha. And this is funny, I'm picking one that I did not see. I'm picking Black Klansman.
Really?
And see, this is where it's interesting because I pick it I do some research and I think about things and I think how things become relevant and how the Oscars think some things are relevant.
That is true.
And it's like I've not seen it, but it's like part of me is like I think because we'll get to director later, but Spike Lee's not going to win that. But
no, it's not going to happen.
But is he nominated? Yes, he is nominated. Here's where he gets his Oscar. Mm-hmm. They give him screenplay.
You think they're going to give him screenplay?
That's what I think they're going to do. Like not because Can You Ever Forgive Me? I haven't seen. Here it's good. Mm-mm. Buster Scruggs, you basically said everything. Beale Street, I haven't seen. And Star Is Born is one of those, like, I think one of my biggest problems with the new Star Is Born, because I've seen 3 of the 4. I've not seen the Streisand one from the 70s.
Yeah.
But I just recently watched the 30s one. No, I'm not a hipster about that stuff. I love old movies. And I thought, well, I've seen the 50s one. I thought it was the one I saw it like 7 years ago.
Yeah.
And then I watched the newest one, and I go, I'm going to watch the original, what this is all based off of. And for some reason, the original does the story better than any of the others. Like, my favorite's the 50s one, but that 30s one, for its dated acting and some of its dated writing, there's something about the way it was told that just felt more, I don't know how to do it, because it's not super personal. It's people that I'm not acquainted with, like celebrities.
Right, that makes...
I just felt like there was something that they did in that original story. I think because it's when you say something, because it was a big critique of Hollywood, and then the 50s one, it was the same. 70s one was a thing of the music industry, and
yeah, it was.
This new one, I think people are going to say, well, you watched the YMS thing. Like, I did, but he made a great point when he said this new one doesn't really say anything new. It doesn't. It's kind of the same thing. There's my computer that I thought I muted.
Whoops. But I guess I will give you that. It doesn't say anything. It doesn't have as much of a message to it as Black Klansman.
It doesn't have to have a message. It's just there has to be a reason why we remake this so many times.
That's fair, and it's pretty much because Bradley Cooper wanted to work with Lady Gaga.
But I'm going Black Klansman. And what were you going? You said A Star Is Born.
I think Star Is Born.
So we'll see. And when you lose, I'll remember this moment.
I guess we'll see. I'm curious what you're going to choose for the next one.
Original screenplay.
Yeah.
I kind of look. I'm double checking.
So yeah, really quick, I'll list them off. We have The Favorites, First Reformed, Green Book, Roma, and Vice.
First of all, Green Book I thought was adapted from something.
I thought it was too. I'm fairly certain Green Book was adapted. I'm not sure why it's original.
And that's what won the Globe.
Yeah.
Which, not a bad screenplay. It's just...
No, but I could have...
It's very safe.
It's a very safe pick. It is.
Yeah. I'll go first this time.
Go ahead.
I'm picking the favorite.
Really?
I'm picking the favorite. When you see it and you see how it, like, there's so much happening without directly saying so, because there are a lot of subtleties underneath all the obvious, like, mannerisms
through
and
the dialogue and stuff like that.
I've not seen First Reform. Paul Schrader, Grand Rapids native.
Yeah, whoop whoop.
Would not mind him winning, but there's, like, no buzz for First Reform,
I know
unfortunately.
there's no buzz for it, but I want that one to win, to be honest.
I think the second for me is Roma is up there, too.
Really?
But I feel that one was more of an actor-driven, like, they evoked most of that, right? Not saying he's not a good writer. He's a great writer. I'm just saying that's what I felt now that I've seen it.
Which is fair. I would agree with that.
Vice is one where
it's
more of the acting.
It is. The screenplay is not what stood out. I actually think I'm going to have to go with Green Book for this one.
So you're going the safe pick.
The safe pick, and I think it's gonna purely because, don't get me wrong with the act. I think what stands about the favorite is not the screenplay. What stands about the Green Book is the screenplay really drives.
Watch, I'm wrong. Great.
Hey, I told you, I'm going to beat you this year. But
when you lose, I'm going to remember this. So, but the favorite is my pick, and your pick.
I'm taking Green Book.
Yeah, that was a short one, but that's how it works. So now we're getting into the acting category.
Oh, you know it.
Checking my sheet.
Oh, fair enough.
I picked the sheet up and look at it.
That may be a little bit easier.
But a supporting actress, I'll read it off, and you get to go first this time.
Sounds good.
So we have Amy Adams for Vice. Marina de Tavira, I probably butchered that name, but Roma.
Close enough.
Regina King for If Beale Street Could Talk. Emma Stone in The Favorite, and Rachel Weisz for The Favorite. Yes, that's Vice.
Yep. Oh, I know how to pronounce it, and I will say I know that it looks like people are leaning towards Regina King. There's a lot of buzz about her winning, but after seeing The Favorite, honestly, this is a very close one to begin with. All the actresses, like I could see any of these winning. So the one, honestly, I'm all around hopping right now. I think what's standing out to me is Rachel Weisz. I really do, because
I can see why.
I could see Amy Adams, but she didn't stand out as much. Rachel Weisz did. What she went through in The Favorite was she went through a lot.
Oh my gosh!
You could and that's part of the reason is I have not seen Beale Street, so if I had, I would have a little bit more to go off of. But just from what I have seen, I think Rachel Weisz brings her all to the table in this one. I'm gonna have to lean towards her.
And she's won in this category before for The Constant Gardener for 2005, I think.
Oh yeah, there you go.
Emma Stone has won an Oscar.
Emma Stone has won already. Yeah.
And the other three have not. And poor Amy Adams is like her 7th nomination.
I know, she keeps. This is a hard one though.
Yeah, I'm going Regina King for Beale Street and playing it's the safer pick.
It's definitely the safe pick.
But I mean, why wouldn't you play the pick? Because in the past I've known to gamble, and guess what? I lose every time. Every single time I go the wild card, I lose. Every time. Last year I did it for Apes for special effects over Blade Runner. What was I thinking?
I don't know what you were thinking.
That is the only reason my friend beat me last year. One of the only reasons. We have the same picks except for that one.
That one.
And he got it. And in that moment, he's sitting right next to me. He pointed right at me and went, ha! Ha! And I'm just like, are you...
Yeah, I guess sometimes you have to take a...
No, but
sometimes you don't.
I picked the second Apes movie over Interstellar.
Oh!
Because I don't know why.
You got a thing for Apes there?
That was my second year, and I got 16, I think.
Yeah.
Which to other people are like, wow, that's really good. I'm like, I dropped 4. I got 20 my first year, and I've not gotten close to that. But
20 is impressive. That's pretty hard to beat.
I'm going Regina King for Beale Street, and you're going...
Rachel Weisz for The Favorite.
Okay. Supporting actor. You read it, and I'll say my pick
sounds
first.
Good. First up, we have Mahershala Ali for Green Book, Adam Driver for Black Klansman, Sam Elliott for A Star Is Born, Richard E. Grant for Can You Ever Forgive Me, and Sam Rockwell for GW in Vice.
I'm going to go, and it's one of those things, it is the safer pick, and I've seen the performance, Mahershala Ali, Green Book.
I do agree with you.
Can we just say Mahershala Ali is a national treasure?
He is. That dude is wickedly talented. Wickedly.
Like everything I've seen, even the campaign mode in Madden, long shot.
Yeah.
Where he is like the best. Like without him, like that's a sports video game, and he's still the one like making it great. Like it's.
Yup. And that's also why for Luke Cage, he was in Luke Cage, and the minute he was out, I thought the series went down, or that season went downhill after he left. He is just that talented.
And I remember I was watching Spider-Verse.
Oh yeah.
And I'm like, hey, that the cool uncle, the cool rebellious one, that sounds like Mahershala Ali. Jared, not everyone's cool uncle isn't Mahershala Ali. It was.
I'm pretty sure that was him. Yeah.
It sounded like him, and then at the end I go, yep.
Yep, he definitely played him.
So
I would say the only person, actually no, I would say there's two that could take it other than him.
You think Sam Elliott?
Sam Elliott and Adam Driver.
You really okay? Adam Driver, I've heard mixed things in this movie, like good, but
he was pretty good in Black Klansman. He really was. Like it wasn't anything anything standout like I think Mahershala was, but he gave a really really good performance in there right next to It was blanking on.
It's Denzel's son.
I know it was Denzel's son. I think it's
Thomas Washington. Is it no?
John something.
I'm so sorry.
No, I apologize, sir.
John. His name's John.
His first name is John. I'm positive about that.
I didn't even know who he was until I looked him up. I'm like, oh.
Yeah.
Well, that makes sense.
Of course he's talented because he's Denzel's son.
Yeah, so Sam Elliott is the emotional part of that movie. Like, there are great scenes. He's the one that's like... And it's basically two scenes.
Yeah.
It's two scenes, and he's not in it that much.
He wasn't even in it that much, but when he was in the truck with Bradley Cooper, oh my gosh. That was heart-wrenching stuff. And that's what makes me think that he could, but I think we're almost guaranteed Mahershala is going to get a second one.
Richard E. Grant.
That is true.
I followed him for a while. He has no chance.
No.
I'm so glad he got nominated because Richard E. Grant. I saw this video on Twitter of him outside this old boarding house. He's like, this is where I moved with 30 pounds a week to pay for rent to become an actor, and now here I am 30 years later, an Oscar nominee, and he's freaking out. I go, oh my gosh, this guy's adorable.
Right, there's some people that are just so down to earth and that you want them to win, but he just and to everyone else he really doesn't have that much of a chance.
And Sam Rockwell was perfect.
Oh my gosh, whoever thought to cast Sam Rockwell as GW is
he looks like him and he talks like it was just how do you not nominate him?
I want to look up the casting director for Vice right now because I want to know who thought, because that is brilliant.
But it's safe to say we're both going Mahershala.
We're both going Mahershala for sure.
And we're going to get into the lead acting categories. And while you look that up real quick.
Oh yeah, I want to know now.
Yep. So best actress we have. Oh boy.
This is gonna be a tough one.
I apologize. I think it's Yulitsa Aparicio. Here we go. I'm so sorry. I am so bad at this. Yulitsa Aparicio. I'm so sorry. That's the best I could do.
Fair enough.
But for Roma, Glenn Close for The Wife, Olivia Colman for The Favorite, Lady Gaga for A Star Is Born, and Melissa McCarthy for Can You Ever Forgive Me. Want a little background? Roma, this is her first nomination.
It is her first nomination.
Glenn Close, it's her 7th, and she's never won. Olivia Colman, it's her first. Lady Gaga, it's her first acting nomination. I think she had a song nomination for The Hunting Ground.
Yeah.
And then Melissa McCarthy, this is her 2nd.
Yep. Yeah, it is.
Bridesmaids.
And really quick, just throwing out, it just says all the extras casting. Can't find out who was casting for Vice.
Wow.
Kind of sad.
Wow.
Anyway. So this is a tough one.
I'll go first since you're just gonna copy me.
Oh my gosh!
Nah, there's a good chance we won't.
I don't think we're gonna agree on this one.
I'm gonna build this up. Yulitsa for Roma was great. I was surprised she was nominated, and then watched the movie and go, no,
she deserved a nomination for that.
Especially the last scene, one of the last the beach scene was.
Gosh!
And then Melissa McCarthy. I've not seen it, but I hear she's really good. That's a movie where she has to carry that movie.
Yeah, yes, she did.
And so, with those two out of the way, we have the 3 front runners.
I would agree.
Lady Gaga, I don't think is going to win it. Everyone was talking about her up until like the award season really kicked in, and she didn't win the Globe, and everyone's like, oh. And Olivia Colman is the best part of the favorite for the acting.
I would say
and
so.
She was so good. But the Oscars are going to be the Oscars. And they're going to finally give Glenn Close an Oscar. They should have given her one for Fatal Attraction, but they give it to Cher for slapping Nick Cage. Like, Glenn Close does deserve an Oscar, yes. It's just one of those things like, let's not just give it to her. It's got to be for a deserving performance. So, as much as I want her to win, I think they're going to get the sentimental thing of, she's never won, she was the surprise winner at the Globes, here she is, she's going to win. I'm going Glenn Close for The Wife.
Fair enough. I haven't seen The Wife, so I don't know what to think, because, first off the bat, I thought Olivia Colman was going to win this. I thought she was so good in The Favorite, and just because she was nursing a broken leg, and she was... That's a small spoiler, but and just playing the love interest of the love triangle was it was so fascinating to see her play that character, and I think
a spoiled little brat.
She was a spoiled little brat. She really was.
She did great,
and you could tell, like, even though she was a spoiled brat, like, she didn't have heart. Like, she did have good intentions, but she didn't know what to do.
It's one of those things where half the time you're annoyed, and then half the time you feel bad. Like, you're sympathetic.
Exactly, yeah.
It's back and forth.
And I think
she's basically a child.
And I think it's really hard to pull that off. It's not hard to pull off being someone who's annoying. It's hard to bring the audience back and feel sympathy for you.
Every time, too.
Every single time.
Yeah.
And that's why I think I'm going to give the edge to her. I really am.
So you're going Olivia Colman, I'm going Glenn Close. This is going to be the one that... We'll get to this, because they do this right before picture usually, don't they?
Usually.
So that might be like a tiebreaker at that point.
It could be. It really could be.
So, Best Actor, we have Christian Bale for Vice, playing Dick Cheney. And Bradley Cooper, A Star is Born. Willem Dafoe at Eternity's Gate, playing Van Gogh.
Yeah.
Rami Malek as Bucky for Bohemian Rhapsody. And Viggo Mortensen for Green Book. This is a really good category.
This is a good category.
I have seen 4 of the 5.
I was saying I have not seen it at Eternity's Gate yet.
I don't think anyone has.
But
I think it's Julian Schnabel, however you say his name. I think that's a...
It is, and it's actually playing locally. It's playing at the UICA.
Oh, okay.
So we could get a chance to see it eventually. But, yeah.
You pick first?
Sure, I'll go first. Looking at this, I'm going back and
You have to make a decision.
I know I have to make a decision.
You have to make a decision.
I'm back and forth between Bale and Rami. And I think this could mess me up. You could etch ahead of me if I get this wrong.
You're going Bale, aren't you?
I think I'm going to go Christian Bale.
Christian Bale. I'm going Rami Malek.
I know he won for the Globes and everyone's loving him.
Oh, he's been the one. He's
ever
since the trailer.
Yeah.
It's him.
But there's something about Christian Bale playing Dick Cheney.
Because he was fat?
He was, like, I mean, not just because he was fat, but yeah. But, I kept watching this, and I kept thinking, wait, that's Bale? I kept forgetting that's who it was. Not once did I forget Rami Malek was playing Bohemian, or wasn't playing Buck Teeth. And so that's why I have to go with Bale. I think he disappeared more than Rami did.
He does. The thing about that, though, is, like, you look at what Bohemian Rhapsody means for people who don't want to watch it as a movie because it's basically a clip show. Yeah. It's basically one of those things where, he looks like him. He's got the mannerisms. He's got everything down. It's an important rock figure and all this stuff.
Right.
Social issues, everything around. He's going to win.
I guess we'll see. And again, I could be wrong. And the one I will say, I think Viggo Mortensen.
That's another. Well, and then Bradley Cooper.
And Bradley Cooper, too. They both gave it their all.
Like, Viggo, I don't know what Viggo is like in real life because he is basically a method actor. Every time it's something different because you watch, like, Hidalgo. That's way different than Green Book.
That man always loses himself in the role.
Like, that was so... Like, he was the most New... It was New York, wasn't it?
Yeah.
The most New... Yeah, the Bronx.
Oh, yeah. He sounded like he actually grew up there. How he managed to get that accent down that perfect.
I know.
I mean, some people are just that good.
And then Bradley Cooper in Star is Born is like,
he was,
wow,
yeah,
powerful, and
I don't know if I should say the spoiler for that or not, but
probably not.
Okay, but
I mean, most people probably know, but let's be, we'll be nice to.
Okay, but yeah, just at the end, you could tell that dude was really, really committed to his role.
And again, you're going Bale, and I'm going Rami Malek.
Yes, so. I'm going to stick with Bale. I think we'll see. We'll see. That one could be an interesting one too.
Yep. So we might have back-to-back like big tiebreaker stuff. So, best director, we have Alfonso. How do you say it? It's
Cuaron.
It's Cuaron. For Roma, Yorgos Lanthimos for The Favorite, Spike Lee for Black Klansman, Adam McKay for Vice, and oh boy, Pavel Pawlikowski. I can't do it. I can't do it.
Sorry.
How do you say it?
Okay.
I'm
going to go Pavel Pawlikowski.
Pavel Pawlikowski for Cold War. Okay. And I'll start.
Go ahead.
It's Alfonso.
I think he's going to win.
It's Alfonso, hands down.
I really do think he's going to win for this
that man did to construct this movie, and of course he's not by himself, but doing like 5 big jobs like that.
Yeah.
There's no way he doesn't
I sincerely agree with you on that one. I think, like I said, I would think Yorgos could win for The Favorite. But, again, just thinking about how much Cuaron did for this film, it just, you can tell.
And how it's constructed.
And also just the fact that he was able to get a first-time actress like, what's her name?
You're talking about Yulitsa?
Marina de Tavira.
Oh, the other one. Yeah. The mother in the movie.
Yeah, just the fact that he was able to get her to act that well her first time. I think part of that has to come from the directing, and I think that's why he really stands out to me.
And he's won Best Director before. He's the only one who's won the director before.
Yep, no one else has won.
Yep, because then we got Yorgos, who, that's one really well constructed movie.
It is super.
He knows exactly what he wants.
Yeah, he's a super talented guy. That would be the next between him and Spike Lee would be the two who I would say have the best chance to win, if not for.
You've seen the movie, but there's a big part of it. It's just like they nominated him mainly because he's never been nominated for Best Director.
No, that is true. Yeah, it's kind of like a consolation kind of thing.
But you saw it. Is it deserving?
It is absolutely deserving. The direction in that is impeccable. Like, he gets the... And I know I can't give this all to directing, but he does get the best performances out of all the actors. And just the way he decides to shoot some of the sequences, it makes it feel so... Like, I know this is just Spike Lee's way of making films, but it feels so, like, much fun and snazzy and snappy and just...
Snazzy.
It's snazzy. It's snazzy. It's very, like, upbeat. Like, the pacing is, too, and I think that's part of the reason it comes from him.
Yeah. Then we won't talk too much about the other two. Adam McKay, I suppose it's one of those things. It's the acting and editing that are the two things that stand out to me.
It really is, yeah.
But I'm not upset about it.
Like, I'm not. No, it's fine.
Part of me, as much as I really like Green Book, part of me that's kind of glad, one of the Farrelly brothers is not.
Yeah.
Just because looking at the track record, it's like, it's not fair. You make dumb comedies for 30 years.
He does not, compared...
And it's not even, that's a performance base.
It's all performance based,
that's what it is,
yeah.
So. And of course, Pavel...
Pawlikowski.
I haven't seen anything. I would like to see Cold War. I'm surprised Cold War, with all its nominations as a foreign film, did not get a Best Picture nomination.
Shocked. And it really it spiked my interest so much. I really need to find a way to see this.
Yeah. So, Best Picture. Let's go. This is the last one. We'll go back and forth with the nominations. Okay, so Fair enough.
have... Are you going to be the first one to say it?
Black Panther. Okay.
Black Klansman.
Bohemian Rhapsody.
Man, you're getting all the good ones. The Favorite.
Okay. Green Book.
Roma.
A Star is Born.
And Vice.
So, on the count of 3, no matter what it is, we're going to say what we think is the winner.
Fair enough.
We'll count 1, 2, 3. Roma. Wow, look at that.
There you go.
This is really funny. Out of everything I do on this channel with Best Picture stuff, I've gotten Best Picture wrong more than, I think, 2013 I got it right. With 12 Years a Slave, that was easy.
Yeah.
2014, I said Boyhood and not Birdman. I don't know why. I just wild card stuff.
Wild card sometimes.
And they went Birdman. And then 2015, everyone got wrong because they gave it to Boring.
They gave it to...
I thought it was going to be The Revenant. 2016, everyone got wrong. Well, they had it right for 5 minutes. Because it was Moonlight instead of La La Land. And then finally last year, I broke my 3-year skid and got Shape of Water. I had 3 billboards down initially, and then like 2 weeks before, I changed it before anything was official, or like whenever I did the special. I didn't cheat. I'm just saying when I finalized everything, I changed it pretty last minute before the thing was up, because remember I had like 15 people also in on it, so it's like I can't cheat. So I'm like, it's got to be Shape of Water.
You got to put it down. Yeah, that was my favorite movie last year.
So,
but yeah, I think part of it is how much effort came in, like, and
it's so personal.
And granted, I haven't read some of the behind the scenes stuff for everything that came out, but I was reading a bunch about Roma and just the fact that how personal it is, how much effort, like the shooting schedule was intense apparently for some of the shots. Yeah. Like some of the most simplest shots he had like 30 setups for. Just the amount of effort put into this movie is what makes me think it'll win.
If it wins, it's the first Netflix movie to ever win, and it's the very first non-English speaking movie to win, and it will be, because we know it's going to win foreign film, it will be the first film to win Best Foreign Film and Best Picture. Yeah. Like, there's a lot going into this. And it's one of those things where you go, well, yeah, the Academy wants to recognize non-English speaking stuff. I get that. Right. But the movie is that good. I think it's the best. I think it's the best movie of the bunch.
I sincerely agree with you. I think it is. And I am, like, again, I'm just patting Netflix on the back saying, I don't know how you managed to get Cuaron to make this, but just job well done, because this is going to put them above any other streaming service when it comes to movies for me now. And granted, I have been following, I think Amazon puts out maybe better ones, and Roma is the one really good one that Netflix has had, and hopefully they stick with that. I mean, they are giving Scorsese The Irishman later.
That's true. That's this year.
Yeah.
I'm excited.
I'm very excited.
Joe Pesci back on the big screen. That's the big thing for me. And Ray Romano's in it.
Ray Romano.
I'm excited to see that, too.
I'm very curious.
We'll see how that goes. But then we'll get to the first one on here in a second. Black Klansman, deserving?
Oh, hands down it's deserving. And just when you look at the picture in its whole, when you look at it from acting to writing to directing to cinematography, all of it put together, it easily deserves it, especially at the end when it makes it so important to today, when it really ties in with what's happening today. I think that's what makes it really stand out from everything else. And and yes, it is a little heavy-handed for those of you that don't like that kind of, here's my message. I'm going to not really shove it in your face, but I'm going to make it well known how Spike Lee feels about what's going on. That's what this does. Not everyone's going to like it, but for me, I thought it was impactful and really, really well done.
Now I'm going to skip over again to the favorite.
Oh, so you're just going to skip those?
We'll get those. The favorite, just real quick. We've gushed about it enough. Well deserving, should be here.
Absolutely.
10 nominations, tied with Roma for the most nominations.
Yep, absolutely deserving.
Green Book is one that people don't like on film Twitter that I've noticed. I might be wrong, but I noticed a lot of backlash. It's
same.
Yeah, it's safe. It's cookie cutter, and I knew that going in. I'm like, okay, let's do this. And I was really liking it because Viggo's character's great, Mahershala's character's great. The chemistry is there, and the story is something we've heard.
I know it's
but
not
it's how they did it.
That exactly. It's like
because I like road movies. So.
Yeah, and the plot itself, it's not a complex.
No, it's nice and simple.
It's a very simple plot. Like you can kind of tell what's going to happen. Like obviously, you have a black guy going in the South in the '60s. It's not going to be good, and so just because you know what's going to happen doesn't make it less impactful because of the performances that the actors were bringing forward. I think that's what really made it stand out and really made you like.
It was feel good.
Yeah,
it was a feel good movie.
Well, at the end it was a feel good, but some of when it got sad, like when Mahershala went off to his own thing when he went to the bar. Oh my gosh! Tell me you were not just like.
It's like, what are you doing? What are you doing?
Exactly.
What are you doing?
Like, no.
You care. That's the thing. We care.
You care. You care so much about the characters.
I've seen so many of similar movies about this time period and this kind of story. Just, I don't care because I've seen it so many times. But this one I cared. Yeah. I really did care.
It's not what it's about. It's how it does it. And that's what the Green Book says to me.
The Star is Born is going to make it. Oh, wait, well, I've talked enough about that. Just, it's not quite where other versions are.
But it's still...
But It's way better than it needs to be.
And especially when you look at it compared to all the other movies that came out this year, it's easily in the higher tier. It stands out from the crowd.
Yeah. And Vice is one. If I had my pick, don't think I'd put Vice in there.
That's fair. I can see where you're coming from that, but there's something about the way McKay likes to tell a story, and likes to I feel bad. I don't want to spoil it, but you know what happens in the middle of the movie. Where you think, and I thought
that was great.
That was absolutely hilarious.
That's good, yeah.
And that's what makes me think about Vice is like when it like, at the same time it doesn't take itself seriously in some kind of manners, but in others it does. It knows it knows exactly what tone it has to be. And it knows how to... I don't think it walks the line when it comes to being subjective. It kind of leans towards how McKay feels about it. Yep. But that doesn't bother me.
It doesn't bother me either. Just at the end of the day, though, I think there were better movies than Vice.
That's fair.
But
the two that were not better than Vice...
So, the thing about Black Panther, and this is my opinion, it is a average superhero movie. It's got cultural significance.
Yep, it sure does.
But there are a lot of movies that have cultural significance that aren't very good.
Yeah.
This movie is not a bad movie.
No.
It's got some bad CGI.
Some of the CGI
It's got a great villain who I actually was annoyed by for whatever reason. He's a great villain.
Yeah.
And there are times it's like, you don't have to yell the whole time.
I know he doesn't have to yell, but I did say I did love Michael.
The last 20 minutes are just super underwhelming.
I will say the fight itself was what was underwhelming. The fighting itself... And I know a lot of people give, Ryan Coogler credit for some of the fighting. But even like in MCU standards, it doesn't stand up to like Civil War or what's the other Captain America one?
Winter Soldier.
Winter Soldiers, especially Winter Soldier,
not
action-wise, it did not stand up to those.
I just remember this is supposed to be a civil war for this country, and there's like 50 people out in the field.
Yeah, it just.
It's so underwhelming.
It's hard to do because when Infinity War comes out in the same year, and that stuff is like
massive,
epic on scale.
Yeah.
Like, don't get me wrong, I like the smaller movies. I do. But when you're trying to make it a massive deal, and you're made by one of the, if not the biggest studio on Earth right now, it feels weird when it's that small. It just feels weird.
And then them fighting, they're both in suits. They're not going to hurt each other. And people then yell at me, what about the train thing?
I know the train thing.
Yeah, that's called a reason to how one of them wins.
Yeah, that's exactly what it was.
That's just, because then, and I don't mind if like that's right away, but they fought for like 5 minutes before that, and it's like they're punching and kicking, and they fall down there, and I go, there's no suspense. They're fine. They're going to be fine.
Yeah.
But then when they're on that, and they, like, I go, okay, there's a little bit of, but I just didn't care.
I stopped
caring. I didn't care about the main character. The supporting cast was way better than the main character.
I liked Michael B. Jordan more than I did the main character, and
Chadwick Boseman.
Yeah. And at the end, when he was telling himself, "Bury me in the sea with my ancestors," I know you didn't like that line, but it's more really
the scene is just. It doesn't. This is me, but I feel like the movie just all of a sudden took this like super sloppy route with the ending. It's like, and the sunset, and I go, "Is this the same movie?"
I just thought that was but it makes sense for the character. It makes sense. It's something that he would say, and when he said it, it made it just like the impact, and it brought like together like just like the whole movement it was going for, and I thought it nailed it. It nailed it in that line.
Yeah, but just above all, it comes down to the Oscars trying to be relevant.
And what they should have done, in my personal opinion, is if you're trying to be relevant and trying to be socially inclusive, thank you. Instead of including a superhero movie, maybe include Beale Street.
Beale Street. Yeah.
An incredible film, directed and
Barry Jenkins.
Yeah, thank you. An all-black cast. That would make more sense to me to be nominated than Black Panther. It really would, and that's the only reason I thought this was a stunt for popularity, not for actually being inclusive. It wasn't. If it was all about being inclusive, they would have went for Beale Street.
Yeah, because you have 10 spots, fill them. But you don't have to stretch. If you have to stretch, then don't. I get how the voting system works. But when you have 10 spots and you put 8, I don't get it.
They have to be the best 8 out of everything else. And with, like, I know we follow, like, specific accounts and for stuff like on Twitter and Facebook and whatnot, but when the overwhelming majority of people thought that Black Panther did not deserve to be on there, I think the Academy did something wrong.
Yeah.
I'm just going to say.
And when you look at, like, Logan and The Dark Knight and stuff that could have been... Like, The Dark Knight is one of the reasons we have an expanded category.
It is.
But, like, you look at other superhero movies that aren't in this category and you're like, but the one that is Black Panther?
Yeah, that got nominated over Logan. I mean, Logan didn't come out in the same year.
It's a
but
joke.
It is an absolute
If
joke.
not for Roma being in this category, in the favorite, like, if not for the couple strong ones, it'd be a joke.
It really would be. I completely agree. When you look at... Oh, you're probably going to bring it up. Bohemian Rhapsody.
The worst nominee.
The worst nominee.
Spoiler for whenever I get to the worst nominee. It is. It's not a movie. It's a clip show. I've said that. It's not a movie.
The plot did not...
There's no plot.
It didn't exist. Yeah, it just did not exist.
It's basically... This is what I tell people. There's no foundation to build off of. Like, the whole thing where they come back to his parents for the Live Aid thing, we've seen his parents, like, twice. Yeah. And it hadn't been for, like, an hour and a half. Like, there's no foundation to this. You watch anything, there's something that they start. They set in stone. This is who he is. This is where he started. Okay.
There has to be focus.
There's none of that. They say, here it is, let's keep going. Oh, and there's this, let's keep going. Hey, we magically come up with these songs out of the blue all the time, and people are like, well, it's not historically accurate. They said so themselves. Well, at least make a movie.
You can still make it, and that's part of the thing was the directing. I kept looking at this and watching the movie, and I would see certain shots, and like, okay, even me, one of the least experienced when it comes out to their making movies, I'm just out of college. When you see a boring, flat shot, and even me knows that you could make that a little bit better and a little bit more dramatic, and that did not happen in Bohemian Rhapsody, that speaks to how bad it is. And especially when they brought it Under Pressure. That was I keep coming back to that, but it was horrendous timing.
Just
horrendous.
There's nothing to cling to in this. It is a clip show. It's basically like we have a TV show about Queen, and we're recapping all the episodes before the finale.
Pretty much.
That's it.
That's exactly how it felt to me. I understand how some people enjoyed it for just if you're looking at it for pure entertainment
and pure Queen.
Pure Queen, and you're not. I know I'm overly critical and stuff like that, but my mom, she loves it. She's like, it's fun. I like the music. It's catchy. You're gonna tap along, which you will.
But
could you tell a story?
That's not a movie.
It's a music video. I would appreciate if there was an actual story and actual conflict and.
Nope, there's none of that. We don't care about any. I didn't care about anything. I'm like, well, we know they make it. Other movies like draw it out because there's a payoff, but nope. Let's just keep moving.
No, let's just.
Our van broke down, but we'll get there. Now it's a year later or whatever. It's like
the
first hour of that movie. The pacing is so bad.
It was so off. It was so all over the place.
Just. I keep saying, I've said this since I looked at Ray.
Mm-hmm.
Don't cover an entire life. Pick a section or a couple sections. Like,
and if they
there
had
are more
done
creative
that,
ways.
If they had done that, this might have been a really great film. It really could have been. And part of it, I think, does stem from the fact that they fired Singer and they had a mixture of two different directors. I think that is some of the problems that comes from it. But I'm at a loss.
Yeah, that's probably the most we can say about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, but we both picked Roma for Best Picture,
yep.
So hopefully you get this right, and I'm back on track 3-3 over 6 years. But
yeah, we'll have to see.
So your height right now for this, at least I don't know about other years, but it's 16. Mine is 20. I've not hit it for this. It's been a long time since I hit that.
Yeah, that's pretty impressive.
And that's this is the podcast for the Oscars. Just
yep.
Those are our predictions. I switched it up this year because last year destroyed me, and this year I thought let's tone it back. I feel like a podcast is a better way to discuss them because I didn't really get to discuss them in the old format. So, and this is my friend Mr. Dickey here who tagged along to record this with me.
Glad I could help out. It was fun to voice my opinions.
Alrighty, and this is the Jareeve, your favorite Oscar complainer. I hope to get content out in the next month or so. I don't take my word for that because it's been so long, but I'm hoping to stream during the awards. I have things going on in the day before that that might prohibit me from doing so, but I will do my best. And until then, I comment your Oscar picks. Go out there and write these down just so you can watch along and laugh at the big joke that is the Academy. And have a good one.